Hey guys, good evening all. I have shared my screen. Can one confirm you can see my screen, right? Hello. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So guys, I just thought to uh, highlight some interview questions on core Java because they are frequently asking in for MNCs and even mid-level companies as well. So I thought to give some more explanation from my side. So this is episode 1. And I was taking only the 10 questions. Let's see how much time it will take. And yeah, based on your interest, maybe I'll plan the rest of episodes and I'll collect more interview questions. Okay. Uh, okay. I think, yeah, we are good to go. Yeah, we have enough audience. Okay, fine. So guys, these are, the 10 questions I was supposed to, plan. The first one is what is singleton class? What is immutable class? What is anonymous inner class? What is fail fast iterators and fail safe iterators? And what is unreachable cache block? Use of overloading and overriding. That's not the definition, the real time use case of, overloading and overriding. And the last three are from Java 8. Okay, so you can see the filter map reduce use in streams and the major changes in interfaces and the functional interfaces concepts. So that are, the 10 questions I was supposed to planning. Okay. So, and one more thing, guys, after completion of this class, maybe if you want to revise any topics, I mean, yeah, if any tough questions, if you already find in interviews, yeah, you can feel free to collect them. Okay. So that I'll plan next episode on that questions, or else I have my own 50 interview questions. Okay. This is episode 1 out of 5. I think we are good to go start the first one. What is singleton class now? Right? Uh, yeah. So guys, the first question, if you see, what is singleton class? Singleton class. 1 second. I couldn't move my mouse cursor. 1 second. Yeah. What is singleton class? So guys, as the definition suggests that, a class, if allowed to create only, the single object, then we can say that is, a singleton class. And it's really difficult to understand what is singleton directly. That's the reason I have taken what is multi-ton first example. Can you see, guys? I have taken a one class called student. Okay. And can you see in the red color box, I have created a new 3 student objects. And after that, I was printing the objects as it is. So if you do this, you can see 3 different object addresses. 3 different object addresses. So inside the JVM, 3 new memories will be created with respect to student 1, student 2, student 3. And in this case, a student class, we have to consider as, multi-ton class. A multi-ton class is a class which which will create multiple objects inside the JVM. Multiple objects inside the JVM. And now let's jump into, what is singleton now. Singleton means, yeah, inside the JVM, you can see a single object for the student class. You cannot create more than one. So if you run the above program, but you can see 3 objects output, see, 3 objects addresses you can see. Now, if you jump to singleton class, actually by default Java classes are, just now you have seen, right? There's multi-ton classes by default. But if you really want to make a class as, singleton class, then there are 3 rules are there. There are 3 rules are there. Rule one is rule one is you have to create static final object. Can you see, buddy, the box which I have written? Can you please focus your eyes on the box, the first red color box, this box? So can you see here? I just created an object, student object equal to new student. I given the name as something student instance. Okay. And the rule is the object should be static final. And step 2, buddy, if you see, you have to create a private constructor. I hope when you are reading, right, you have seen, constructor should be public. But when you create a constructor with the private access modifier, okay, it cannot be visible outside the class. So we cannot create an object for this class outside of it. If you want to see the private constructor, you can just refer, math class in Java, math M capital math class in Java. It's a ready-made class. It's a singleton class only because they created a private constructor. You cannot create an object for it because its constructor is private. Now, rule number 3 is you have to create a one static factory method which will return the step 1 object. In step 1, you created a one object, no? So that object you have to return. And I'm sure you are new to the word factory method. I'm sure you are new to the factory method. In Java, if any method return type, if any method return type, I was talking about this. Okay. Main method return type is void, right? Main method return type is void, right? So if any method return type is other than void and other than primitives, other than void and other than primitives, 8 primitives, then that method we have to call as factory method. Now, can you see the get student object method? The return type is not void, not primitive, and it is a class name, current class name. So that's the reason we can say it's a factory method. And now, can you see, buddy, the 3 object creations, right? I was not using the new keyword. I was not using the new keyword. Instead, I was calling your get student object method. So this method return the factory object. See, student 1, 2, 3. Now, buddy, if you run this program, if you run this program, then you can see a single object only. Can you see on the down? You can see the single object only. You cannot see multiple objects as you have seen as earlier program. So this class allow you to create a single object only. And these are the 3 rules. Definitely interview will ask you what are the rules to create a singleton class. So you have to remember, you have to create a static final object, create a private constructor, and create a static factory method which return the first step object. And when you're creating object, you have to call that factory method instead of new keyword. And maybe you can ask a crash question, what is the use of this? Yes, I'll help you, buddy. What is the use of this in real-time use cases? In the previous program, if you see, you created a object using new keyword. You means developer. Developer created an object by using new keyword. And definitely as a learner, you don't know, the memory, the usage in real-time use cases. I mean, the memory usage. If you create an object by using new keyword, okay, you don't know how much memory is going to be allocated background. So that is the reason, okay, in framework like Spring and Spring Boot, developer will not create the objects. The framework should automatically create the singleton object for your classes so that, a memory used in an efficient way. So don't worry. What is this? Frameworks will create a singleton object. You're going to be learning in Spring or Spring Boot. But this is the difference between singleton class and multi-ton class. Can I have an acknowledgement from you guys? Is that clear? The first question answer, what is singleton class? Guys, can you acknowledge in the chat? Are you clear? What is singleton class? Confirm quick in the chat. Okay, cool. Now let's jump to, the next question. The next question is what is immutable class? And definitely it is, a irritate question in interviews. Because when we start strings, right, we'll say strings is immutable class. Okay. And to make mutable objects, we'll go for string buffer and builder. I mean, in general, the question will come to, from their era, right? But when you learning core Java classes concept itself, okay, in OOPS concept, when you're learning class conceptual, you should learn this singleton, multi-ton, and mutable, immutable classes so that when you jump to strings chapter, right, it will become easy to you to understand how it will look. Okay. So generally the meaning of mutable means can modify. Okay, I was talking about general meaning. Mutable means it can modify. Immutable means it cannot be modified. Now, but see the definition of immutability. So immutability means is ability to keep not changing with the modifications. Once it is defined, no one can alter it. Okay, an immutable class which is once created and its content cannot be changed. In Java, we have string and all 8 wrapper classes. We have 8 primitive data types now. All 8 primitive data types are considered as wrapper classes, correct? And all wrapper classes are immutable. Arrays is a class which is from util package. Local date and local time all also, your immutable classes only. Okay, along with the string. So now let's see, buddy, how to create first of all mutable class, right? Alright, first, if you want to know what is immutable, first you should know mutable, right? So now if you see this program, buddy, can you see on the top, I have mentioned it's a clearly a mutable class, student class. I have created 2 fields, right? Rule number and name. Okay. I have created 2 fields, rule number and name. Now I created a constructor for the 2 fields and I created 2 setters for rule number and setter. Stop it here and try to understand. In a Java class, okay, if you declare constructors and setters for the fields, if you declare constructors and setters for the fields, like rule number and name, okay, then that class is considered as mutable class only, because using constructor we can create the objects, right? And using setters you can change the values there. On the down, if you see now inside the main method, I created a student object, buddy, with the values 101 Chanti. Okay, rule number is 101 and name is Chanti. Now if you print it first time, you can see 101 Chanti. And if you use dot operator already, yeah, using dot operator also you can change the value. See, I was changing the student data by using dot operator. See, student dot roll number 102, student dot name Rakesh. Now if you run the code here you can see 102 Rakesh. Now I told you, right, you can also call setters and you can modify the value. See, set rule number 103 and set name Tirupati. Now if you run it, you can see 103 Tirupati. So you created an object here, buddy, and the values keep on changing. So that's, we can say it's a mutable class. And I want to repeat this, in a Java class, if you create constructors or setters, then that class objects can modify a number of times. So we can say that's a mutable class. That's, mutable class. Now we should know what is immutable. Now we should know immutable. Actually, to make immutable class, there are some rules are there. Now let's see, buddy, what are the rules? We need to know it. So the first rule is, can you see on the top? I was creating the same student class with a immutable features, immutable behavior. Now rule number 1 is first red color box. Guys, first red color box, your classes should be final. Sir, maybe you can ask why the class should be final, because if we create a class is final, we cannot make child of this class. We cannot make child of this class. In general, in inheritance, child class can have a chance to change parent class properties. So if we create final, then we are not giving possibility to create a child class. That's a rule number 1. Rule number 2, whatever the fields are there, buddy, that fields you have to declare with final keyword, so that one-time assignment is there for rule number and name. One-time assignment is there for rule number and name. You cannot, reassign the values. And rule number 3, as it is, you have to declare all argument constructor. Okay. And rule number 4, the strict rule is you should not declare the setters, because I just now told you setters can modify the value. So you have to declare only getters if you want to get the data. Again, getters also are optional if you want to get the data. But rule number 1, 2 are mandatory. I mean, 1, 2, 3 are mandatory. Okay. Final class, final fields, and all argument constructor. Now on the down, guys, if you see, you created a object, student object, right, with 101 Chanti. Now you're printing the values. Now what you do is, in previous program, I tried to change by using dot operator, correct? You tried same. I mean, I was asking you to try the same. You'll get the error with using dot. You cannot modify it. And try to modify using setters. Yeah, anyhow, we are not writing the setter, so definitely it won't allow you to modify the object values once it is created. These are rules to create immutable class. These are, rules to create immutable class. I hope this is makes sense. Guys, confirm in the chat. Quick, everyone. Is it clear how to create immutable class and the difference between mutable and immutable? Okay. Okay, good. Now, now let me go to, the next class, buddy. What is anonymous inner class? I hope you have seen these questions in a couple of interview. First, here you should know what is meant by inner class. In Java, you have a flexibility to create a class inside another class, right? That's called as a inner class. We do have static inner class, instance inner class, local inner class, and the last one is anonymous inner classes. Totally 4 types of inner classes are there. Okay. So if you're not aware with the previous things, then no worries. I'll try to plan in the next episode. Okay. And but you have to note down that question as well. Let's jump into, buddy, what is by anonymous inner class first. Okay. So if you see the definition, anonymous inner class is a nested class that doesn't have a name actually, because English meaning of anonymous means a thing without name, right? A thing without name. Now, second point, if you read it, anonymous class must be defined with another class, right? That's the reason it is called as inner class. And the main use of the anonymous inner class is on the down red color with the red color I have highlighted. You can give quick implementation of interfaces and abstract classes. You can give the quick implementation of interfaces and abstract classes. So the point that I want to highlight here is in interface, we'll write abstract methods, correct? In abstract class also, we can write abstract methods, right? So to implement that methods, to implement the methods from interfaces or abstract class, we should create a separate classes, correct? We should create a separate class. So the beauty of the anonymous inner classes is you can implement that abstract methods without preparing separate classes. That's actually advantage of the anonymous inner classes. Let's jump into the program, buddy. First I'll go with without anonymous class. So can you see on the top, I've created an interface called shape with an abstract method called area. Now I created a circle class, which is implementing shape interface, and I'm implementing the area of circle logic. Can you see in the SOP I have written a pi r square logic, and you are overriding the interface method. Now finally what you do, you'll create a the object of circle class and you will call the circle method, right? And in this case, buddy, can you see the red color box is our interface? And with green color I have highlighted it's your class, a separate class you've taken. And the blue color box, if you see, you are providing the implementation for the area method, right? For the area method, you are implementing, you are providing the implementation. Now, this code I was rewriting by using anonymous inner class. So if you take anonymous inner class, you need not to create the green color circle class. The green color circle class, you need not to create. Okay. Instead, directly you can provide the implementation. So that's the code body you can see here. This can you see on the top? I have an interface shape with abstract method. Now I haven't created a class like circle class, and I have a class with a main method. See, and the syntax, if you see here, this line. So don't think that it's object creation of what I call it as your interface. Okay, so we cannot create a object for interfaces, and you are creating an object for your anonymous inner class actually. The new keyword is not creating object for your interface, because interface rule, I think you remember, we cannot create an object. So here the new keyword is creating object for this red color boxes. Can you see red color flower bases I mentioned? The red color flower bases are nothing but body of anonymous inner class. Body of anonymous inner class. So a class is created without a physical name. And you can see sky blue color box, we are providing same implementation. And finally, you are calling circle.area. You can see the output. So the main advantage of the anonymous inner classes is you can avoid to create separate classes to implement abstract methods from the interfaces and abstract classes. I know, buddy, I was a little bit fast, but you have to revise this session one more time, and please make the good notes and which you can give specific answers to the interview. I hope this is makes sense to all. What is anonymous in our class? Guys, confirm in the chat. Uh, Guys, can you hear me? Okay, fine. Now, yeah, the very important question, one more important question, buddy, in interviews is fail fast and fail safe. Fail fast iterators and fail safe iterators. First, you should know what I mean by iterators. Okay, don't go with the definitions. Okay. First, you should know what are iterators. Iterators are nothing but, let's say, collections, buddy. Either it can be a list or set or map. Collections. They hold multiple objects, correct? They hold multiple objects, list or set or map. And to fetch object by object, from the collection, we use generally iterators. So we have two types of iterators, fail fast and fail safe iterators. If you see fail fast system definition now, these systems immediately stop operation when an error is occurs. Okay, in generally fail fast means, okay, the system immediately stops the current operation when an error is occurred. But can you see on the down, fail safe means this system continues operating even when error is occur. That is the first statement, buddy. You have to know it. The difference between fail fast and fail safe. Fail fast means even there is an error. I mean, if there is an error, definitely your operations will be stopped. But in fail safe, even though there is an error, okay, your operation will continue. Now let's jump into the scenarios where we can tackle, your fail safe and fail fast iterators. Guys, can you see this code? Yeah, inside the main method, can you see I created one array list. And I added 3 elements, 10, 20, 30. Now using for each loop, I was printing the elements, and the next I was trying to adding a new element called 40. Can one guess what is the output? Better try to unmute. Can one guess what is the output of this? Okay. Yeah, Srividya saying that. Yeah, 10, 20, 30 is the answer. Okay. Others? Can one unmute and tell me the answer of the above program? No idea. Okay, fine. But here, guys, there is some challenges are there. The challenges is, if you see, integers is your collection object, correct? Integers your collection object. You added 3. Now in this line, if you see, println method taking each element and printing on the console, right? And what is this add method is doing? Add method adding 40 to the integers. So if you see, buddy, both operations are trying to performing on the same collection object. See, one thread. So here, this is a thread 1, you can consider. Thread 1 is trying to printing it, and thread 2 is trying to adding new element. Okay. In array list, we were talking about array list. In array list, one thread is trying to fetching the element, one thread is trying to adding the element. Adding is nothing but it's trying to modifying the integers, nothing but adding a new value, right? Now in this case, what will happen? You'll get a one exception, buddy. You'll get a one exception. The exception is, can you see on the down, concurrent modification exception? You'll get concurrent modification exception. Nothing but one thread is trying to fetching the element, one thread is trying to adding the elements. This is we have to call as fail fast iterator. Fail fast iterator. In fail fast iterator, okay, I told you, right? If any error is occurred, your operation is terminated. Yeah, this application is terminated, and you can see the output as an exception, concurrent modification exception. Okay, right? That's what actually the scenario that you need to understand. Now, in Java, can you see, buddy, not only array list, you have a vector class, hash map, hash set, 4 classes, which I highlighted in yellow color. They are from JDK 1.4. All are fail first iterators. And definitely now you have seen the challenges, right? Concurrent modification exception will get it. Then how do we resolve it? But to resolve it in JDK 1.5, they introduce copy on write array list class, copy on write array list. Old class is array list in JDK 1.4. With array list class, we have a problem. The problem is concurrent modification exception will get. But its advanced class is copy on a write array list. So, buddy, this class uh, won't raise that exception. So that we can say it is a fail-safe iterator. And you should not use hash map, and you should instead concurrent hash map. And you should not use set, you should use copy on write array set. They are, advanced classes of, your old classes, buddy. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this question may be asked in different way. Uh, they may ask, yeah, direct question, what is fail fast iterator and fail safe iterators? On top, the 4 classes which I mentioned, they are fail fast iterators. On the down, which I mentioned, the 3 classes are fail safe iterators. And maybe interview will ask a question in a different way. What are the concurrency classes you know? What are the concurrency classes you know? You can tell these 3 classes. Concurrent hash map, copy on array, copy on write array list, copy on write array set. Okay. Now let's try to re-implement the below logic, I mean, the previous program by using copy on array list. Guys, earlier, hmm, earlier did you see, here I used array list, but now I was using a class called copy on array list, and your copy on array list is from a package called java.util.concurrent. It is not from java.util, it is from java.util.concurrent. And whatever the 3 classes I have shown you, the 3 classes from concurrent package only. Now, but the same 3 things I have added, 3 elements I have added, and same code I have written. And now if you run the code, now if you run the code, you know what will happen? You'll get 10, 20, 30, and this for each method will execute 3 times, right? This for each method will execute 3 times, right? Because we have 3 elements on the top. Now this add method will add the 40 to this integer 3 times, three times, totally 3 times. So that, buddy, you can see, so that you can see the output is, 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, and by using for each loop. And on the down, you are printing all integer, right? You can see 10, 20, 30 are your original array list elements, and 40 is added because the for each loop is iterated thrice. Now, maybe you can ask, what is the difference between now the previous program and this program? In this program, I mean, in the previous program, guys, in the previous program, you are using array list, correct? Your object name is integers. You are trying to fetching the element from the original object, and you are trying to adding the new element to the original object. That's what you will get concurrent modification exception. But in copy on write array list, you know what will happen? A clone object is created. Here, buddy, integers.add is there now. Here, a clone object is now added. I mean, created. Nothing but copy of any integers. Copy of an integer object is created internally, and that copy of an object, buddy, is going to be adding this 43 times. So that's the reason on the down, buddy, you can see 40, 40, 40 is the output. I hope everyone clear what is fail fast iterators, what is fail safe iterators, and how we are, passing the errors from fail fast to fail safe. Does that make sense? Guys, does that make sense? Okay, good, good. 1 second, guys. 1 second. So I think this is makes sense to all. Right. And guys, next question we'll see something, what is unreachable cache block error. So this is from exception handling concept, and most of the freshers will get confused uh, in this programming paradigm. So maybe I can show you the first of all the code for you. Can one guess the output of this code? Guys, can you ping your answers in the chat? Yeah, I got answers from few folks. Okay, okay, okay. I was asking 100 by 5, right? Right, in try block. Okay. This is actually, the freshers will become fool in this scenario. So I know, guys, you are looking from try code, correct? But that's wrong analysis if you have multiple cache blocks. If you have multiple cache blocks followed by try, you should not see the code in try. That's the first thing that you need to keep it in mind. Even the try code has error exceptions or not, you should not look into the try. That's the first thing you need to notice. Can you see, buddy, the first catch, we have written exception, nothing but parent class for all the classes, correct? And the next, if you see arithmetic exception, it's a runtime exception and it is a child of the exception class. If you are aware with, the exception classes hierarchy, correct? Now, if you have to focus on these two catch exception class names, exception and arithmetic exception. So in which order you declared, buddy? First parent, then child. First parent, then child you declared, right? And if you don't know this parent and child, buddy, this is, the exception classes hierarchy. If you're not aware with this. So for all unchecked exception, that is parent is runtime exception. For all checked exception, the parent is exception. And now I have shown you arithmetic exception, right? Arithmetic exception parent is exception. Arithmetic exception parent is exception. Actually, if you run your previous program in Eclipse, you can see this red color mark. Guys are able to see this red color mark. This red color mark indicate that, your program is showing a compile time error. The compile time error is showing you because of, you given a wrong order of cache blocks, wrong order of cache blocks. So the right order of the cache blocks is always the parent has to last, always the parent has to last, and your subclasses has to first. That's the rule. Now, if you move your mouse cursor onto the red color symbol, but it is showing you this error, unreachable cache block for arithmetic exception. You know why? You know why? Because this arithmetic exception parent is exception. Okay, so the parent class can handle any type of exception which is raised in the try block. So there's a wrong order to declare it. There's a wrong order to declare, and the right order to declare it. Either you have to write parent catch, only parent catch, okay, or move your parent cache block to last. Okay, that are the solutions. That are the solutions for the our previous program. Nobody read the definition. I'm pretty sure now you can understand. Now read it. When keeping several cache blocks, the order in which they are kept must be from the most specialized to the most generic. Now read the second point. I'm pretty sure you can understand this. Exception subclasses must come first. Exception subclasses must come first and followed by the superclass. I told you, right? Your superclass has to be last. If you put superclass first, right? If you put superclass first and subclasses second, then the compiler will complain about unreachable cache block. Now, I think, guys, you're clear. The output of this code is not your 20 or 25. The output of this code is actually there is no output. The program will give compile time error. The error is unreachable cache block. Does that make sense? Guys, does that make sense? No, I was not hearing the multiple answers, buddy. Does that make sense? What is unreachable cache block? Okay, good. Right. Now let's jump to, the next question. Uh, the next question, buddy, what is use of overloading? See, nowadays, interview are not asking the definition. What is encapsulation? What is polymorphism? What is abstraction? Okay, what is interface? They're asking, a tricky question to this. And if they ask what is use of overloading, don't try to say the answer for, definition of overloading. That's a bad practice. I mean, that's a bad idea actually. Okay, if they ask use, you have to tell the use. You should not say the definition. Or else you can tell definition quick and then focus on the use. Okay, but don't tell only definition and just don't keep calm. Okay, the question is what is use of overloading? And I'm pretty sure you know the overloading definition, right? Overloading. Can anyone tell me what is use of, I mean, what is overloading? I want to hear the answers from any one of you. What is overloading? Strange. I didn't hear the answers. What is overloading? Right. Correct. 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 Yeah. Different method signatures. Right. Okay. Fine, guys. What I'll do is, as usual, I'll show you one program snippet, then we'll come back to the definition. Now, can you see this code? Okay. Can you see this code? I have written a class called addition. Okay. And this class buddy have all the static methods. Now, can you see the first method, addition of two integers? Guys, please focus your eyes on, the method name, whatever the method name I have given, addition of two integers, which is taking two integer parameter and printing n1 plus n2. Next, addition of two float. Next, addition of four long. Next, addition of three integers. And next, addition of three float values. Three float values, if you see. Now, every time if you see the common operation we are doing, addition. And can you please focus on the method names which I have written? Definitely, it's very difficult to introduce the new method names. Let's say I want to do now addition of 5 float, addition of 6 double, addition of 7 integers. Then do you really think that introducing new methods with these, the big method names are, more readable? Definitely no. The answer is no. So the challenges with this, the code will work, but the challenge of this program is, you are introducing a big method names every time, right? That really, will not make sense. Will not make sense. The main use of the method overloading is make method readability. Make method readability. Okay, make method readability. Now we can rewrite this code, guys. We can rewrite this code by keeping a same method name, by keeping a same method name, and just by changing the argument. Now can you see? And yeah, just now highlighted, right? The 5 method names. And you can rewrite this code by keeping the same method name. See, the first method name is addition, two integer parameter. Second name method also addition, two float parameters. Next method name is addition and 4 long parameters, right? So the method name you're keeping same, and definitely it will make, more sense to everyone. Okay. Now, buddy, jump to the definition. I'm pretty sure now we can understand the definition of, what is use of overloading. Now read it. Method overloading increase readability of the program. Okay. Now read the definition. This provide flexibility to programmers. This provide flexibility to programmers so that they can call the same method. They can call the same method for different types of data, right? And this makes code look clean. And the down I have given some definition. See, overloading is a concept. Use it to avoid redundant code. Nothing but, you are writing the big method names where the same method name is used multiple times, but with a different set of parameters. I think you are clear, buddy, by looking this definition and this example. Does that make sense? What is use of overloading? Guys, I didn't give a definition. I just given one use case to understand when to use overloading. Overloading makes increase the method readability simply. Okay, good. I got acknowledgements. Good. Now, yeah, next question immediately we can see, what is use of overriding? Can I get the definition for this? What is overriding? Anyone? Guys, can one define what is overriding? Same method name and same parameters. Okay. And but you guys are given 50% answer, not full. Okay, I'll jump to the example again. I'll take you the real-time scenario to make you more, clear this. Let's jump to the example first, then we'll back to the definition. But let's say a client has given a requirement to me that you have to create a class with a method. You have to create a class with a method. That method will take any number of arguments. Let's say in Zomato, if you order 2 item, 3 item, 4 item, 5 item order, yeah, you may make 10 items order also. That the method has to return the sum of it. Now, can you see? I created a class item total, and the method name is calculate total bill, and it taking the argument as array. Okay, it taking the argument as array double items, and I was taking a sum equal to 0, and with for each loop, I was iterating each item from the items, and I was adding to the sum, and finally I was returning the sum. Now, inside the main method, can you see? I created an object because it's a instance method, and I created a one array, item cast, which has 4 elements now. See, 100, 400, 200, and 300. You know the sum is 1000, correct? Now, if you call ob.total bill, definitely, buddy, you'll get the sum is 1000. Is the code make sense, guys? Is the code is clear? This code. I'll tell you why we are going for overriding. First, is the code is clear? Okay, cool. Now, this code I have given to the client. Okay. Now, what client was expecting? Okay. Okay. Well, you did the job, but I need to add 18% GST also for the total. What client asking me to implement the same method, but he was asking me to add, 80% GST to the total bill as well. Whatever the bill, you have to add 18% GST to the bill. Nobody he given a new requirement. Okay. For an old requirement, I did it, and he given a new requirement to me. Correct now? He given a new requirement to me as per solid principles. Guys, if you don't know solid principle, no worry. Maybe in the next episode, I'll try to plan to cover this. As per the solid principle, can you see O for open closed? But can you read the definition? A class should be open for extension. A class should be open for extension, but closed for modification. Okay. And this is actually open close principle. O for solid means abbreviation. Okay. O for open for extension, but closed for modification. But see, we have a just now conversation, right? Client has a new requirement. But as per the solid principle, you should not touch your old code, right? You should not touch your old code. That's what the solid principle is saying. Now, what solid principle is saying? Solid principle is saying that you can open for modification. Open for extension. What they said, open for extension, nothing but you can create a child of the item total. You can create a child of the item total class, but you should not, modify the existing code. So that's what, buddy, I did it in the next code. Can you see? Above code as it is, I was not touching this, and I created a child class. The child class name is item total with GST. Item total with GST. And I'm making it a child to item total by writing extends. Now, again, the question is, client given a requirement. Now, as per the client requirement, you should not introduce a new method. Unnecessarily, you should not introduce a new method. You have to write, you can use the same method. Guys, you are using the same method, but anyhow, you are changing the logic. You are changing the logic. Parent class method as it is, we are using in child class, but the logic we are writing different. Can you see the logic, buddy? I was calling super dot. Super means it's parent. Super dot calculate total bill. So it will calculate total bill that is 1000, right? Now, next to buddy, what you're doing, you are implementing the logic for GST. See, 18% GST. Total is nothing but 8,000. 1000 plus, this will give 180 rupees. 180 rupees, and total plus 180 means 1180 will be the bill. So this will be returned, buddy. Now on the down, can you see when you create an object of child class, item total with GST, because you have to create an object for now child class, not parent class. You're creating object for child class, item total with GST, and when you call ob.calculate total bill, I'm pretty sure you will get the output as 1180. Now, this is what a real-time use case of overriding. Now, what overriding is helping you, buddy, here? Overriding helping you that you cannot introduce a new method. You can reuse your parent class methods. You can reuse your parent class method and for giving a new implementation. Old implementation, the client has not satisfied. So that's the reason you given a new implementation. This is something, O for open closed principle as per solid principles actually. Okay. Now, buddy, if you want to now if you try to read the definition, and I'm pretty sure you can understand the definition. Okay. Now let's go back to the definition. Let's go back to the definition slide. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Yep, stop it. Read it. Re-implementing parent class methods in child class with same method signature. That's the definition actually, not use. Now read the use. The main purpose of having overriding method is the child class is having a different implementation. Correct now? Parent class implementation, the client has not satisfied. That's the reason you created a child and you given a new implementation, but you are using the same method name. I think now you are clear the definition. Guys, you're clear? Ah, okay, okay, cool. So this is, use of overloading and overriding. Okay. Now let's jump to the next question, filter map reduce. And the last three questions I have taken from Java 8 because nowadays, most of the JDs, the people are asking Java 8 is mandatory. JD means Java job description. Without Java 8, yeah, only 10% companies will take you. Okay, 90% companies definitely they will filter you on Java 8. So the question is, there is a class called stream. Okay, there's a class called stream. It has three methods. So the question is, what is use of filter map reduce? Even this question may be asked in a different way. If interview ask you, what do you know in Java 8? You can say, I know Stream API methods. Okay, you can say Stream API methods, and these are, the Stream API method, filter map reduce. I know, guys, if I go with direct definition, definitely, it will become very difficult to understand. But let's see the this question and answer so that you can understand what filter map reduce will do. Guys, can you see the line number 1? That's the array list, which has 10 elements. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10. Okay, it is an integer array, integer objects. Okay, can you see the requirement 1? Requirement 1 is what? You have to print even elements from the above integers, right? And guys, you know the logic, right? You know the logic to check even or not. So what do you need to do? You have to take each element. You have to take each element, and you have to do check. Is it mod to equal to 0 or not? Each element you have to take, and you have to verify whether it is mod to equal to 0, 0 or not. Correct now? So that's what we have to use a method called something, filter here. You have to use a method called something, filter. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I think the system got log off. Okay, think I'm back. Okay. So here in this situation, guys, you have to use something, filter. You have to use something, filter. For requirement 1, you have to use filter. So what filter will do is it will take each element and test the each element by using a predicate functional interface. By using a predicate functional interface, and this will return, the filter will return the element which are passing the test. Filter method return the element which are passing the test. If an element is fail the test, yeah, that element will be won't repeat. I mean, the element will won't return. Now, can you see the second requirement? Update element in list. Update elements in the list by adding 5. Update elements in the list by adding 5. The 5 it will become 6. I mean 7. Now for third element, it will become 8. Next, it will become 9, right? So what you are doing here, you're taking each element here, you're taking each element and updating the element, correct? You're taking each element and updating the element. So in that cases, you have to use a method called something, map. In the first case, buddy, you have to use something, filter. In the first case, you have to use something, filter. Filter will filter your each element. And for the second scenario, buddy, you have to use something, map. What map will do is it will modify each element in the list. It modify each element in the list. Okay. Now the last requirement, if you see sum of all elements, we have 10 elements. Sum means we have to do 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus, right? So finally you'll get single element. Correct now? Finally you'll get single element. Nothing but we are reducing the whole list into a single element. We are reducing the whole list into as a single element. That's what we use something, reduce function. So these are the use cases when to use filter, map, and reduce. And but if you want to write the code by using this filter, map, reduce, you should be strong at some functional interfaces called predicate, function, supplier, and consumer. Okay, you should have a knowledge on it. And if you don't know it, buddy, no problem. In the next maybe the episode, I'll try to plan that the functional interfaces as well. Okay. Now, can you go back and now try to see the definitions of your three your methods? Can you see the first one, filter? Filter method. Filter method is an intermediate operation, and it will return the elements. It will return the element which are passing the the test. Now, can you see the map? Map is also a what map will do is it transform each element. It transform each element. Nothing but it will modify the element in the list. Now, can you see the reduce, buddy? The reduce method. The reduce method return a single result. The reduce method return a single result against a list of elements. Now we can see the code. Now you can see the code. Buddy, this is the first example how to use filter. Can you see here? I have taken an array list. Can you see, guys? Here I have taken an array list. Now, actually, streaming we use kind of some pipe symbol, buddy. Nothing but we use some dots. Can you see here beside the right side? Please focus your eyes on right side of the equal operator. Integers dot stream. Integers dot stream. Nothing but all elements will come here. Stream is nothing but first one element will be taken, like filter. First element is 1, and you are doing 1 mod 2 equal to 0. So if it is true, then that will be collected and converted into list and stored into this variable called even integers. Now second element is 2, no? Again, 2 mod 2 equal to 0. If it is pass, then it will be stored into even integers. Like that, 10 times this filter will test this condition, and the elements which are passing the test, that will be collected as a list and stored into this even integer. And finally, buddy, we are printing the even integer by using the for each loop. And for each also one of your Java 8 Java 8 enhancement only. Now, can you see the updating? Yeah, here we have to use map. Now, can you focus, buddy? Integers dot stream, and you have to use map and take each element and see the logic. What I was doing, element plus 5. So each element will be taken and it will doing the 5. And finally, you can see a new increment integers. There you can see the elements are something 6 and then 7, 8 like that. Buddy, you can see the elements by using for each loop. I was printing it. And the last one is reduce. Yeah, sum of elements. Can you see how to use integer dot stream? Same integer dot stream. You have to use reduce. And now you have to take 2 elements here because 1 plus 2, 3. Now 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. 10 plus 5, 15. 15 plus 6, 21. Now did you focus? Every time I was adding 2 elements. That's what, buddy, you have to take element 2, comma 1, comma element 2. And the arrow, you have to say element 1 plus element 2. You'll get the addition by this. This is something, filter map reduce. How to use, filter map reduce. And buddy, you can also use combination. you can also use combination of 3. Okay. Can anyone take some time and tell me what I was doing here? I was not saying, I was not asking output. Can anyone tell me what I was doing? Can anyone unmute and tell me by seeing this integer dot stream dot filter dot map dot reduce? Can anyone guess what I was doing? Take some time. Can anyone tell me what filter is doing? Guys, can anyone tell me what is filter is doing? Maybe I'll go step by step. What filter is doing? Filter method. Okay, the condition I have written very clearly. Can anyone? What is the filter is doing? Okay, let me take a chance to help. Can you see buddy element arrow element less than 6? Right? Nothing but yeah, correct Srividya. Nothing but it will taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements only. So in the filter, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Now, second, what map is doing here is for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is doing square of each element. See, element into element. 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square. Now what reduce is doing? It is summing all elements which is coming from the form, which are coming from the map. Like 1 plus, 4 plus, 9 plus, 16 plus 25. So if you run it, buddy, you'll get 55. Okay, that's nothing but sum of squares of below 6 elements. That's what output of this. Does that make sense now? Guys, does that make sense now? How to use all 3? Okay, cool. I think guys, we have reached to last but one question. So what are the major interface changes in Java 8, right? So maybe maybe I'll go to the the coding first. So I'll come back to the definition later. So guys, if you see in interfaces, in generally we declare only abstract methods, correct? But in Java 8, they introduce some static and default methods as well. Okay, so it means we can write concrete methods, nothing but methods with body also we can write inside the interfaces. That's not actually the major change in Java 8. Now, can you see, buddy, on top, the first example? Guys, the first example, can you see? I created one interface. Interface name is before Java 8, don't get confused. I given the name as before Java 8. So there you can declare static final fields and abstract methods. Correct? Static final fields and abstract methods. But can you see the second interface, buddy? The name itself I have given, after Java, don't get confused. So there we can write old behaviors. We can write, old behaviors. Nothing but, instance, static final fields and abstract method. Also, can you see, buddy? We can write default and static methods. See, default and static methods, nothing but you can write the methods with body, but you can add some default is an extra keyword. And also, buddy, you can write static keyword when you're implementing the method. Now, advantage of this default and static method here is default method, you can provide the body. You can provide the body inside the interface as well, interface itself. Okay, and static methods also can provide the body itself. And the only difference comes here, buddy, on the down. If you see, the difference will come here itself. See, your method 2 is a default method, right? Default methods are accessed by the object, whereas your static methods are directly accessed with interface name. You need not to create object for the static methods. Directly you can call by the static method. Static, your interface name dot the method name. So that's what, the new changes inside the Java 8. So in interfaces, only 2 changes. They added default and static methods. It means you can write methods with body. or I can say, we can say, we can write non-abstract methods. So method 2, method 3 are non-abstract because they have a implementation inside the interface as well. Is it clear this? Guys, is it clear? Okay. And do you know, buddy, empty interfaces? Have you heard empty interfaces? I mean, interface without any members? Guys, did anybody heard an interface without any members? Just say yes or no. Yeah, correct. Marker interfaces, right? So, right. So an interface without any members is called as marker interfaces. In Java, we have some marker interfaces, something, clonable, serializable. They are marker interfaces. Also in Java, they introduce something, functional interfaces as well. An interface with no methods is called as marker interface, but an interface which has single abstract method, then it is called as functional interface. And that will be, the last question for today. So the topic is, what is a functional interfaces in Java? Now, if you read the definition, buddy, an interface that consists exactly one abstract method is known as functional interface. And a functional interface can have multiple default and static methods. Just now we covered now. Okay. And a functional interface can have multiple default and starting method, but the rule is only one abstract method should be there. In real-time use cases, we use a term called SAM interface. This functional interface is also called as SAM interface. The abbreviation of the SAM is single abstract method. SAM stands for single abstract method. Let's jump to an example, buddy. You can understand. Can you see the first example? I have declared one interface with one abstract method, and the annotation you must be declared. Without this annotation, buddy, it is not treating as, it's a functional interface. You must annotate your interface with an annotation called @functional interfaces. So then only it will become a functional interface. Now, can you see the second example, interface B? I have one abstract method and one default, and one static method. I told you, you can write n number of default and static methods. Okay, but the rule is one abstract method should be there, not more than that one. And if you write more than that one, it will show the error to you. Now, maybe you can ask a question, why this functional interfaces has been introduced in Java? To write your Java code, by using lambda functions, by using lambda expression. I'm not sure whether you heard it or not. Okay, but if you want to write lambda expressions in Java, lambda expression, nothing but in just now you have seen in filter map reduce, you have seen some arrow symbol, right? So if you want to write that kind of coding, that's possible by using functional interfaces only, Now, maybe I want to show you one example how this functional interfaces will make us to write, a lambda expressions. So can you see, buddy? This is the example I have taken. I have taken interface name is interface A with only one abstract method, method 1. Okay. Now, can you see the way that I was writing the logic? The way that I was writing the logic. Can you see interface name space object? Now, buddy, can you see this? The implementation. I was not using the physical name of the abstract method. I was not using physical name of the abstract method. Actually, your method name is method 1, correct? But you cannot use your method names. You can just write empty parenthesis. That empty parenthesis directly point to your method 1. Okay, that empty parenthesis directly point to your method 1 only. And this arrow tells that you are providing the logic for the method. That arrow tells that you are providing the logic. So your logic is welcome to lambda function expression. And when you call ob.method1, yeah, definitely you can see this output. So the main advantage of the functional interfaces is they will allow us to write, lambda function expression. Maybe interview will ask a cross question to you in a different way. Maybe the question asks you how to write lambda expressions in Java. Your answer is using functional interfaces. And if they ask what is use of functional interfaces, you can tell that we can write lambda expression by using functional interfaces. Okay, you can tell this, crash questioning answers, buddy. Don't get confused. And sometimes the interview will ask you what are the functional interfaces are there in Java. Yeah, we do have totally 4, buddy. Okay, these are 4 ready-made functional interfaces which are introduced in Java 8: predicate, consumer, function, and supplier. These are 4 functional interfaces which are there in Java. Okay, and if you know how, I mean, if you want to know how to it work, maybe I'll plan, maybe in the next sessions. Okay, now let's jump to the definition. We haven't seen the definition now. So now read the definition. Now we can understand again. I think we have already seen the definition. So a functional interface is an interface which has a single abstract method, right? So guys, that's all about, for today. I hope you got some idea on, this 10 question answers, I believe. Maybe I want to show you the question list again. So these are, the 10 questions answers, buddy, you learned today. So any queries on this 10 questions? Is all good? Okay, cool. Hmm? Okay. Okay, guys, prepare well. And if any challenge questions, if you have it, yeah, collect a notes. Okay. Maybe I'll plan, in the next weekends. Okay. Yep. Bye, guys.